Good
Friday.
morning.
Like the only thing then for sure is on Saturday, like the chairs will be delivered, and
It
then
is
instead of help, I would just eat on Friday instead of
6:03
Saturday.
a.m.
Is there a good time for
Central
sure that I
Time.
could come on Friday?
I jumped on this call at about 5:30, 5:45. We have this Monday Breadwinnerz Call every Monday at 6 a.m. Central Standard Time. Excuse me, it's 5:30 a.m. Central Standard Time, 6:30 a.m. Eastern Time. As part of being in the members only membership, you also get access to my list of resources and my network, which is also a part of the Breadwinners. It is a group of over 100 entrepreneurs who are and business owners who have been successful in their journey. Some are just getting started, some are still learning, but most of the people in the group have made a success or accomplished some things in their industry. And so this call again is included in the membership. So you jump on, we have a topic of the day, we do a business spotlight of the week, and it's just a lot of support, resource sharing, things of that nature. So these calls typically are not recorded. I am just adding this in for our members, so that y'all have it, especially for those of you who are jumping on late, so you can kind of see or get like insight. And then also for those who may not have made the call today because of whatever you had going on. Yeah, one thing I want to say to y'all is no excuses. Like, I'm sitting here honestly looking like yesterday. Y'all want to know that if I didn't tell y'all. Rolled out of bed, still have to get the kids together, do my daughter hair, and I'm chaperoning their trip today. But business has to go on. You have to feed yourself. You have to feed your mind. You have to grow. So we're gonna jump into the call.
We kind of talked about some of the events. If anybody got any events this week, this is the time to like let everybody know. And also too, if y'all see anything going on in the city that you feel like we should be at, as a collective, or we should go. We should start putting that stuff out there because a lot of us don't know. But I got an event this Thursday. I'm gonna be at the Grog Shop. I'm hosting. It's a Mac player like type vibe. So anything can go when you come to an S Gordon show. So even if y'all can't make it, y'all just share the flyer like to y'all story for me. Yeah, I appreciate it. But it's gonna be really nice. I'm excited. This is my first hosting of the year. I haven't besides my I've hosted a couple other things, but not like a big hosting. So but if anybody got any other events this week, this is your time to let everyone know. Or if it's something that you feel like we should be going to, put in the chat or just say what it is right now.
Oh, that was yesterday.
Guess ain't nobody going to no events. Yeah. So we're gonna go over the topic of the day. In your business, what's more important to focus on, your strengths or your weaknesses?
Both
So
of
I'm gonna
them.
yield the floor. Anybody can speak. And if you do have a weakness, this will be the time to like let everyone know because you never know, somebody may can help you with that particular weakness.
I'll go
I'll go
ahead. No,
first.
I'll go ahead.
All right. So ladies first, or you want me to go?
Go. You go ahead. I can wait.
Okay. So all right. So I would say I will focus more on my strengths, right? And the reason why I say that, as far as my weakness, then I'm getting the people that are strong and cover the things that I'm weak at. And because I thrive and I'm able to elevate my business through the things that I'm strong at. Like, so when I started Renew Flooring, I started kind of like hands-on. I started hands-on because, my partner, he was doing the flooring, and we went to this one big job. Now, at this point in time, I never seen the process of, what went into, doing the floor. And so this one particular job, it was about like 1,000 square feet, and this is when we first hooked up, and I was just doing it as a like a little hustle because I was putting 50 cents on what it was that he was charging me, and I was just giving the jobs through people that I knew that was getting flipping houses. So I was just putting 50 cents on top of it. Well, one particular job I actually done with him was like 1,000 square feet, and again I never saw the process, and so therefore when I went in to help him, man, he had me doing all type of stuff. And I was like, man, you do all this? He was like, yeah, man, because when I come back from looking at the job, everything's done. So it's about like 6-7 steps when it comes to sanding and refinishing floors. Now, I got caught up and started, helping him consistently, but I really didn't like it, right? And that wasn't my strength. And after we went through my my network with the guys that I knew that flip houses and renovate homes, and the business like slowed up, it was like, okay, what do we do now? And one of the things that I'm good at marketing, I'm good at sales, I'm good at getting us out there. And I was like, hey man, if we're gonna take this business to the next level, I gotta get off my hands and knees, because this is not what I do. Like being all dusty and stained up every day. Now I don't mind getting it in and working, but I can say, because I did have that experience, that's what grew me more and gave me the ideas and the vision for the business, because I knew what it take to actually do what it was that we were doing, and it helped me create and develop my posture, because again I had hands on, and so couldn't no one tell me like, oh man, well I do $1.50 or $2 a square foot to sand the floor. I'm like, nah. But if I never had that experience, then still have been getting that off. So I'll just say strengths, because when you knowing your strengths, and you're able to develop more and build on top of your strength, that will take you further. And the things that you up.
It is staticky. It's my thing. It should be.
That's my take. Next.
It should be private.
Go ahead, True.
Okay, I was trying to unmute. So I think those were all great points. I would say that what's most important to focus on is kind of equally both. It's your strengths and your weaknesses, and here's why. I think it's important to know which foot is dragging. That's in personal and in business, but especially in business, you have to know what your weak points are in order to do something about it. Whether that's to delegate, whether it's to know, how to price or charge next time, whether like whatever it may be, you have to know your weaknesses, because that helps you when it comes to building your team. Your strengths, I think it's extremely important to be able to identify those as well, because then okay, I don't have to delegate this task, or I can't delegate this task because this requires for me to get it done. In addition to those two things, I think to add to that is you need to know like what opportunities are around you and what threats are around you.
Let me go ahead and have everybody mute their mics, please. Go ahead and make sure your mic is muted. Your mic should be green, please. Let's respect the mic.
Thank you. But to add to that, opportunities and threats. So most of you may already be familiar with the SWOT analysis, but if you're not, I would say that's something that every business owner should conduct for themselves, or even have someone else in their business do it for them. And it's where you go through and you identify your strengths, your weaknesses, your opportunities, and your threats. If you know the opportunities and threats that are around you, then you know when to execute your strengths, when to execute your weaknesses, or when to send your team or someone else in to do those things because you're not great at those things. So in short, bringing it all the way back around, I think that they're both equal. Like you have to spend time on identifying both of them. And it's just about knowing which foot is dragging and when to operate in your strengths or when to operate in your weaknesses or allow your team to execute something for you.
Anyone else? Go ahead, Joe.
All right. As a business owner myself, I focus 100% on my strengths. I do know what my weaknesses are, but I focus in 100% on my strengths because my strengths is what brings me my money. Now, if somebody come to me, because I'm not a great painter, so, and I know that, so if somebody comes to me with like a painting job or something, I just tell them like, no, this ain't nothing I can do, or I delegate it out. But as far as like electrical, plumbing, stuff like that, I know those are my strengths, so I focus in 100% on my strengths because my strength is what brings me my money.
Oh, I haven't put this on my Facebook. Don't belong to me. Why do it say it's people in there? I thought I had this thing private. Apparently I don't if you catch me in the morning.
For me, I focus on my strengths and weaknesses because my strengths is what's going to help keep me consistent and move forward. My weaknesses is what's going to push me to the next level to be the greatest I can be. And I know for sure one of my weaknesses is me just speaking up and just like, I don't know. I'm a people's person, but I'm not a people's person. I'm really shy, and I just stand back. And sometimes I just don't like speak up. It takes a lot. Even when we're in here, just like I gotta push myself really hard to say whatever I have to say. But I know whenever I do, it's very beneficial, just like anything else. And it does help me to push myself to the next level every single time I do speak up. So I have a problem with just speaking up and I don't have a problem with being around large crowds or anything like that. But when it's my time, it's hard. I don't have a problem when it's my time to speak neither. Like if I'm in a line, but when it's my time to grab the attention of people, to speak, to approach someone, a stranger or something like that, it's very hard for me. If that makes any sense.
That does. Most business owners struggle with that. And it's one of those things where you have to master, like, your who, what, when, where, why. Like, who are you?
Good morning, everybody.
Who are you serving? When do you service them? Where? Why?
For me, I'm just going to go ahead and agree with what most of you guys have already said, which, to sum it up, is you want to build everything, including your business, on your strengths, right? And it's pretty much even like a house. You don't build the house on the weakest part of the land. You don't build it next to the cliff, right? You build it on solid ground. So, I mean, that's just that. I focus on my strengths. I build my business around my strengths. But my self-awareness allows me to never forget that I have weaknesses that are a part of me. I look at it like a train, right? And we all are familiar with the phrase, you're only as strong as your weakest link. Now, we have weak links, right? And so we can only be as strong. Now, my strongest point is in the front. I know for a fact, if I'm ever betting on myself, my strongest qualities of myself will get me there. Period. But
it's the staying there, it's the maintaining, it's the maintenance.
I'm working on those as well.
And if you don't,
then that's when you run into regret. That's when you run into your mistakes. That's when you run into just doing the same thing over and over again and falling into that trap of, dang, this isn't working, and not due to external factors, right? And so, unless we have that self awareness to be able to say and to check yourself and to say, okay, I'm going to put these certain things into play. So, whether, for example, I'm just going to name a few of mine, right? Which is waking up early consistently. Because let me tell you, them kids don't have to go to school. Sometimes I'm sleeping in, right? But it catches up with me. Whether it's accountability, which I put certain things into place. I put certain people around me. I line certain things up. I make sure, hey, if I need to study my stock options, I get with people that study next to us. Say, hey, boom, let's meet on certain days. It's not just for them; it's for me too. It's accountability. So just putting certain things in order so that whatever my weaknesses are, they're getting stronger. And again, working on myself. But my strengths is leading me to the promised land, right? And just like that house that you build, if you're not careful, you may not have built it next to that cliff, but it's called erosion. So if you're not paying attention and you don't worry about your weakest points, it will catch up with you. So that's all I got for you guys.
That's it. When you hear the whole group speaking and everybody is in alignment, everybody's saying the same thing but in different ways. But that's exactly what it is.
This is the time. So like, even speaking, this is a good time to like really practice right now. And as opposed to getting in front of other people, you'll have the experience. So if you got like fear of speaking or any of that type of stuff, like speak right now because that's where we can help each other. If you not really a good speaker or you don't, like, you gotta let us know. So that way, one of us probably can help you. So I'm gonna yield the floor. Anybody else want to speak?
Yeah, I was gonna say the same thing. Like I lead with my strengths, like the things that I know I'm capable of, but I don't forget my weaknesses, so things I need to build up on. So I like on my own, like just do research or outsource those things, like network with other people in that familiar area, just to be able to build up that area, even if I don't get as strong in it, just to like put that in, so I don't have to worry about it in the long run. And then when I have time as well, I try to excel in that area or try to make sure I'm prioritizing like building that area for myself. So it's just like using people for what they know and then making sure I'm useful for them as well. And then at the same time, making sure I'm just like prioritizing time into that field for myself. So that way I know like all the ins and outs when it does come to it. So yeah, I think that's pretty much it for me.
Anybody else?
Great rising to everyone. I agree to everyone's point. I would personally say I lead with my strength, but I'm also aware of my weaknesses. And the reason I say that is because if I have to give an analogy, and I love the analogy they gave with building a house, you build on the strong point. You focus on the foundation. Your foundation is your pillar, your basis. And if I have to give another analogy, it would be like fitness. And it's almost like seeing a person, or I've seen so many people focus on their strengths in the gym that they forget about different parts of their body, that you see like their arms big, but they legs not as strong, or various areas. So it's important for that balance, the duality. And then if you also see someone that's strong in that area, to ask them for tips or to coach you, like, hey, how do you get stronger?
Being coachable is a big thing.
Like somebody else said,
you can't go in and like think that you know everything. You have to be open to receive from other people, even if their opinions are different than yours. Like ultimately,
because no one is just born like great at everything. We all had to take time to dedicate to ourselves, to grow, to research, to learn, to sharpen our skills. So everything takes time. No one is just born just great at everything. Great at just doing things. It took time. So I feel it's necessary to focus on both strengths and weaknesses because, like Nate said, also again, you're only as strong as your weakest link. So I'll leave it at that, and I digress.
Yeah, speaking of Jim, that's how Joe James built. He heavy at the top, and he got little bitty legs, so he need to work on the
He's trying to be a jokester. But these calls are important. So again, I really didn't think that this was live. I thought this was I thought I hit private, but apparently I see in it, which is whatever, that's cool. But the replay is only going to be available to the members only, and moving forward, the Monday calls, I won't have them streaming live like this. It's only for the members only. But as part of members only, you also get access to our Monday calls with the Breadwinnerz group. So that's always amazing. And there's still other segments. We have a.
I don't gotta speak all at once.
I missed what he said because I'm talking.
Maybe not. Anybody else?
Both are important. I was listening. I agree with everybody.
The cool thing about groups like this is that the access and the sharing of resources.
I guess I just jumped in. I only what I really wanted to say, but you play off your strength, you feed off your play off your weaknesses, feed off your strength. But you try not to dictate or let weakness overcome. And I don't know. I just have a lot of thoughts throughout the conversation. Trying to take a route to go with. Just tell everybody to look at your weakness and look at your weakness and try to face it and figure out how to overcome it. Weaknesses are little demons trying to
I gotta say little demons.
have you avoid.
I be having side conversations in my head while I'm having real conversations in life, and I gotta stop doing that.
Sure, I know your strength, man. You got the Don Cornelius voice, man. That's one of your strengths.
Why is he always telling me?
I've been told that one of my strengths is collateral control or
okay, so we're about
calming a situation down. They used to send me to a lot of messed up jobs that someone had completely destroyed the relationship with the customer. So I was always there to super over, bring back the relationship.
All right, so I'm gonna take a pause on that for a second. Well, I'm not gonna pause on it, but they're still going. I'm gonna let them finish going through that. So what they are talking about right now are what's more important to identify in your business. Is it your strengths or is it your weaknesses? And everybody, like I said, pretty much got an answer that is very similar to each other. It's like you gotta know what you're weak at, but don't go out telling the world that you're weak. It's kind of.
I remember when I was in college, I had to write this paper. It was like a 15, 20-page paper, and it was they asked us what was our strengths and our weaknesses, but we couldn't I couldn't write it for myself. So our professor, he told us to go. I had to ask 3 different people. So I asked somebody that's family, and then two people that's not family. So I asked my uncle that raised me. I asked one of my teachers from high school, and I think it was a coach or somebody I had, and they all told me the same thing. They said they didn't really know what my weakness was, because they said I would hide my weakness, and because what I would do, like when I have a weakness, I'll figure it out. You know, I'll either put people around me that got those strengths that I'm weak in, or I'd go research it and look it up and see how can I do it before everybody find out. Oh man, coughing. I must be saying some good stuff. So, but you know, but I had to write this paper, and it was interesting. A lot of times we don't even know our weaknesses. Like you think you might know your weakness, but you may not really know it. It's important to ask those people around you what your weaknesses are. People that know you, people that have been around you, ask them what you think. I did that with Larry, low key successful, and I had him tell me what my weaknesses were. Um, and that's how you can really determine what your weaknesses are, because sometimes even our strengths, most people don't even know what their true strengths are. I spoke with, I want to say about 25 of you all outside of the chat on the phone, and a lot of us didn't know what our strengths were. So while I'm talking to, it was one girl in particular. She was kind of intimidated by her cause, and I'm talking to her, and this girl she's the plug. Like she had great communication skills, and this and that. So I'm listening to her. I'm like, you got a lot of value, and you don't even know. So it's important for us to call each other outside of this chat. Find out what we do. Find out, because you never know. Like I'm telling, and I'm gonna hook you up with a place, and also too, Aisha. I just met someone. She makes her own like holistic like skincare.
That's the thing I love, that real connections happen in real time.
A couple days ago, and I'm like, you need to link up with the shaman. I got this doctor I know. You know what I'm saying? He's like 6'8". You gotta link up with him, and then this is other lady I know. She be making these. She make the vegan food and all that. Y'all should all link up and work together. So we gotta find each other's strengths and weaknesses, and we have to help each other, because that's ultimately what this is about. I said this before: think and grow rich. Smartest person in the room isn't the one who's the rocket scientist. It's the one who hang around the rocket scientists. So even though y'all might be weak in a particular field, y'all not weak, because that's what we are for. We have to help each other. Every community helps each other, and they're on code. Even if they don't like each other, they still on code. Like even this weekend, we got Cinco de Mayo, and there's more black people celebrating that holiday, and we don't even celebrate our own. You know what I'm saying? So we gotta start bigging each other up, calling each other, even if that's something that you may not be strong in. Because I would tell you this: that's one of y'all. As most of our weaknesses is in this chat. We don't call each other. I'm sure that everybody in this chat hasn't talked to everybody outside of here. Just on this call alone. Just allocate some time. I know John has met with a lot of people. I know the place has spoke with several. But we have to call everybody. Just hit each other up. Say, you know what? Every day I'm gonna just talk to one different person in the Breadwinnerz. Find out what they do, and I'm telling you, once you start doing that, it's gonna help you. I guarantee it.
Being intentional with your time.
Hey, do you got some type of directory or something? I don't got nobody's number. I can't call nobody, bro.
I'm working on that right now. So I've been calling everybody. What you could do is just send a message, on the app, and you could get their number and everything like that. Just pick one. That's what I've been doing. But
my rule of thumb is always that you.
To make it easier for everybody going forward.
Yeah, that'll help. I appreciate that. So that's one of my weaknesses. Just try to do everything. So I got people like Nay and a couple of you others that help me with those things. Me and True was talking about that too. And it's important,
Hey y'all,
when you do put yourself out there. This is a foundation. We're growing this right now. We're building this up. But I'm not afraid to do it. I'm not afraid to
I was going to tell y'all 5x5. My 5x5 rule: you go 5 places per day, and you meet at least 5 people in those places. So you should be sharing who you are, what you do, what you have to offer when you're in those places, including groups like this and on calls like this.
What I did do was everybody who paid their dues, I wrote everybody's name. I had them send me their email. What exactly do they do? Their social media. So that way, yes, you could look at the director and say, oh, okay, they paint Joe James. And he'd be like, oh, well, you paint, I need a painter, da 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 da. So you'll be able to hit them up right there because you'll see it right there on the directory. So that's very important. It was Blaine was on here last week, and he actually messaged me and told me you'll have a directory. So I started working on that right there, and that's important because I don't know everything. You know what I'm saying? I do know a lot, but I be having a lot going on. So when we all kind of help each other, or they, hey, Stan, do this, or maybe you can go about this, that helps me because it keeps me on point. You know what I'm saying? So I appreciate that. But yeah, Nate, I appreciate if you do help me with that. But I want to get into our business of the week. Everybody give a digital clap for True. She gonna make you do it.
I'm so ghetto. No, I'm
in the
just saying.
city near you.
Come through with the intro. Good morning, good morning, good morning. Hey everybody, my name is True. My name is Alicia Corpening. I go by True. I prefer if you call me True. And thank you for allowing me to be Business of the Week. Before I jump into like introducing who I am, what I do, any of those things, I just would like, I'm going to post a few things inside of the chat and I can do this simultaneously, so I'll keep going. But I'm very curious to know as to like, why do y'all jump on this call on Mondays? Like, are y'all here for things like inspiration? Are you here because you want to execute something? Are you just like wanting to be motivated? Things of that nature. And you can just put like a 1 if it's inspiration, a 2 if it's motivation, or a 3 if it's execution. Um, yeah, so just drop it in the chat. I know you got to kind of move around a little bit. Okay, I'm seeing some ones, some for inspiration, things of that nature. All right. So as y'all are putting that in the chat, I also want you, okay, I'm seeing execution. That's the thing I love. All 3 of them. Okay, love it, love it, love it. So as I'm going into introducing myself, I want you to kind of be thinking about like, if you had to tell somebody who you were and what you did without saying the exact title, like what would it be? And I want you to just play around with that thought for a moment because we're gonna revisit it and you're gonna put it in the chat in a minute. So who am I? Why you just talking to me, right? My name is True. I am your favorite project manager. I'm also the executive director of Feed the Soul, which is a nonprofit organization that started in Cleveland, Ohio. We started literally the day before the pandemic. Like before the day the world shut down, like I was working with a few different organizations in the city, and we were planning like this community dinner, things of that nature. The world shut down and it was nothing but execution from there. Till date, we've serviced over 20,000 families, both seniors, youth, things of that nature, with food deliveries, PPE, things of that nature. Since then, I've grown. I've relocated to Houston, Texas to grow not only my nonprofit, but my for-profit company as well. And that for-profit is True Creatives. We do project management. I work with 7-figure business owners and those who inspire to be 7-figure business owners to help them execute different strategies in their business to grow. You might be a person who have a brick and mortar. You might be a person who provides services or products. And I come in, I help you identify some of those strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats. And then we put together a skilled strategy or a plan to actually execute and make some changes in your business. Outside of those things, I work with other businesses who may not be in the space to have me as a retainer, but they're like, hey, True, I want to learn from you. I want to grow. And a few of my mentees are actually in the Breadwinnerz group now, where we meet weekly. We have weekly calls. We work on weekly strategies and things of that nature to just help them grow and to just figure out, okay, how do I move that needle in my business? I have been introduced to many of you in different spaces When I started off, I was doing things like interviews. I have a podcast. I'm a published author, things of that nature. But I started off in that space of genuinely just giving information to people, genuinely just adding value to people, and genuinely just seeing like, how can I make a difference? How can I use my strengths, what I'm good at, and go out and assist other people? So I'm gonna pause for a moment, and I want you to answer in the chat really quickly that question that I asked. When you think about your business, when you think about you, your value, and all of those things, like how would you describe that to someone without telling them, hey, I'm a shaman, or hey, I work on floors, or things of that nature? Like, how would you describe yourself to someone else? And you could throw it in the chat. If you want to come off mute, you can do that. The chat is just fun because we can all see it.
Okay. I got something to say. In the very beginning of the group, we all, I don't know if some of them was on here or not, but most of us did say what we was doing. Well, didn't we in the beginning? Didn't we all introduce each other?
Hey Christy, I think that's you talking. You may have, but I wasn't here on those beginning calls, so my activity has nothing to do with the specific group in itself. And if it's like, hey, we did that already, perfectly fine. I'm just interested. But yeah, I wasn't on the calls when you guys did that.
Yeah, I just looking to see who all knew. Some of them look for me like, okay.
I'm a provider in my community for services to assist the people. I think that's really dope. I think we're all providers in a way. That is really dope. Thank you, Marsha, for sharing that. So yeah, I'm going to close out with saying, because I gave you enough information about myself, I posted a few things inside of the chat just so you can have it to know who I am, what I do. But I help investors find, fund, and fill their investment to 100% capacity. I love it. I love it. It's a whole lot of collaboration going on. So as I close out, like the thing that I'm going to close out with is called my vivid vision. And that vivid vision is just saying like, hey, you told me who you are. You told me what you've done. You probably could go down a list of people you've worked with, and that might sound familiar to me, but where are you headed? And that's where I want to leave off at, where I'm headed, my vivid vision. So within the next 3 years, I desire to purchase a pre-existing structure and turn it into an alternative school that's catering to ages 16 to 24, where we're actually teaching life skills, business development, things of that nature. And it's all being done on campus. They're getting real life experience and things like that. And right now, we're not there yet. We haven't scratched the surface for that. We've made connections. We've collaborated with people. We get on this Breadwinnerz Call. Like I've been knowing Stan for a few years, and a few others for a few years. And so the work is being done. We're scratching the surface, but that vivid vision for me is to collaborate with other business owners, other entrepreneurs, other creatives to build this space for those who are coming after us, where it's something that's tangible and it's something that can get results. And so I just had a call with Stan the other day, and we talked about possibly starting with programming where we have a curriculum, we have a structure that we can go out into communities and schools and things of that nature and teach entrepreneurship, teach business development, and teach life skills that is actually going to move our communities forward, our families forward, and people who look like us forward. So my call to action is, while you might follow me, you might like a post, you might comment, share, any of those things, my ask is, if my vivid vision aligns with you, who you are and what you're working towards, let's collaborate, let's start to communicate, let's connect and see what we can build from there. Yeah, and that invite is to all breadwinners. And this is where I'll close out. Thank you for giving me the floor. Thank you for nominating me for Business of the Week. My name is True. I am the founder of both True Creatives Media Management and Feed the Soul. And I hope y'all enjoy the rest of y'all morning.
First of all, thank you so much directory as we talked about. So at that point, I will get your number and information. You definitely clarify who you were. And also going forward, I would like for everyone to, there's a bio within this app, and I think that would be useful too. As we're exploring the app and we're going through here, it will be a lot easier for us to just navigate and see who everyone is. But going off of some of your points, True, I actually had a similar conversation with Princess over the weekend about getting into the community and seeing what we can do, which is what Breadwinnerz is about, right? It's about bringing a collective of people who have success in their own way, motivating each other, inspiring each other, collaborating with one another, but also, excuse me, also giving back to the community. So, and we can kind of brainstorm this idea, but again, Princess and I, we were just bouncing some ideas off of each other and maybe thinking about breaking off into teams. So right now where we are with it is just maybe having separate teams where we can kind of like have more of an intimate time with one another, because it's quite a few of us on here and it's steadily growing every week. And of course, this is not all the breadwinners on the calls. So that way we can all get to know each other. But also, as we do this, we can work on, sorry guys, I'm driving, it's kind of loud, but we can also work on projects. So those projects being, for example, maybe when we do Toys for Tots for Christmas, this particular team, they're going to lead this event. Another one being Thanksgiving giveaways, maybe the turkey giveaways, the food drive. Another one being back to school, and so on and so forth. So again, those are just a few things that I'm going to put out there. So at the end of this call, also, I just want to fit this in. I know we have a few more things to talk about, but at the end of this call, I'm going to actually make a post so that everyone can add their information so that I can efficiently create this directory so that we can collaborate and we can talk and all that good stuff. But again, thank you, True, so much for everything that you just said.
Thank you, and thank you for your feedback. Definitely, I'll fill out the information and update anything that needs to be updated.
That was a great presentation. It felt like I was like looking at a PowerPoint. You know, I'm not there. So yeah, that was you did a really good job, and you was to the point. It wasn't like too long, but it wasn't too short. So that was really good. I could tell you do a lot of you speak a lot, so that's good.
Thank you, appreciate that.
Anybody got anything else to any feedback for her before we get into the life lesson of the week? True, can you do us a favor? Put your social media handle in the comments. Do it 3 times, and also everybody flood her page, like all her, like 10 of her posts. Share her something to your story. Comment. And if you're not following her, follow her as well. So. Also too, she said she helped people with the nonprofits as well. So if that's something that some of you all are interested in, I will send her a message, because we've been talking. So we both helping each other, and we also sharing information. So it's things that I know that she know, but it's things that I don't know that she do. We just gonna come together. We're gonna share information. So I'm going to yield the floor to the man. Is he on here? Oh, see him. Yeah. Oh, there you go. Oh, man, he had to walk outside, put his cape on, and come back. His name is John Life. I'm going to yield the floor to you. The life lesson of the week.
Hey, man, you need to practice on your stand-up.
Hey, no, I couldn't get back in the call. I'm like, man, I don't know what happened. But anyway, I have wanted to comment for True too. Like, I thought that your presentation was great. Interactive. You made it interactive by us going.
Everybody else meant something too, but
some things, and also too, I think that's a great way to get a feed of what needs to be, talked about and discussed. And I read into that, and I saw, how you did that. So I thought that was really, really great. So great presentation, and would love to get with you and have a one-on-one and just go more in depth of what it is that what you do, and seeing how we can, do some things together. So that's what's up.
thank you. I'm honored. I appreciate that feedback.
Yes, ma'am. So today's life lesson, really, I was talking about. I had over this weekend, we had some birthdays that were celebrated, and one of our very own breadwinners, low key Bonton. That's what I like calling him because I think his last name is dope, right? When I hear Bonton, I see, I just see something more than just a name. I see like a brand with Bonton. So that's his actual name, Larry Bonton. But his company is low key. So, so he celebrated birthday this May 4th, and I sent him over a um, um, a text, but also spoke with him. Just told him happy birthday. But I was going to share the text that I sent over because I also my pastor, his birthday was May 4th too. So I was like, oh wow, I could create this one text and basically hit home for both of them because both of them have similar experiences in which I have that same experience too. And so what I would like to do is I'll read the text over to you guys. Let me see. Let me pull this up here. See which one I can find first. Let me see. So let's go Bonton. So I wrote, great God's morning to you, Bonton. You have hit another milestone. Not just another year added onto your age, but another chapter to your life. Congratulations on all of these accomplishments and achievements within this year of living life in abundance and gratitude. Man, nothing tops living and having loved ones to celebrate your existence. I pray that today stands out more than any other day. For not only is today your birthday, but it is the day that you, your mom, have given birth to your soul. You both shared this special day together. You being born and her giving birth. Wow. Now that's a true celebration. Happy birthday to my brother from another mother. I got nothing but love for you, fam. I'm excited to experience the next chapters in your life as we age and grow wiser. So I wrote that, but it has a lot of life lessons inside of that, and I believe that when our birthday come around, we look to basically just turn up. Like, all right, I'm turning up. It's my birthday, so you just gonna turn up. But my question is like, okay, but what are we turning up for? What are you truly celebrating? Are we celebrating just becoming another, year older? Because at some point in life, it's like, yo, you can't wait to get that older. But as I gaze across the page here, I don't think anyone's looking for it just to get older in numbers, right? I'm not saying that we don't want to get old, of course, but we're long past where we're 16 and 15. It's like, man, I can't wait to be 18. Oh, man, I can't wait to be 21 because those are monumental points in life where we get to do certain things or other things that, like, okay, 16 you could drive. Man, 21 you could legally drink. So those are milestones. But after you get, like in your 30s,
celebrating getting older, especially if you're my age, where I just turned 51. It's like, you want to kind of like slow the clock down. So we're not just celebrating age anymore. And when you're just celebrating age, it's like, okay, well, am I just celebrating my mere existence? And when you ask yourself that question, or when I ask other people that question, it's like sometimes they just say, hey, you know what? I made it another year. I'm still here, or I'm just, celebrating life, right? And which is great. And we should be celebrating life every day. Every day that our feet touch the ground, we should be giving thanks and praise to, we made it another day, or God has gifted us the gift of life to actually even put our feet on the floor. So, like, again, when we are celebrating our birthday, what are you truly celebrating? And I think that we should have those things stand out. And whatever accomplishment, what did you accomplish within that year period? Like, okay, hey, you just turned 33, or, I just turned 51, but what did I do from in between the calendar year, from when I turned 50 to when I turned 51? What in that calendar year did the things that I achieved, right? So I make a list of that, and I'm like, okay, these are the things that, I closed out within this calendar year. Here's some things that I started. Here's some people that I've even, touched and made an impact on their lives. So you know what? That calls for a celebration, not just because, we're here, or not just because I'm here. So, newsflash, if you're in the same position that you were in last year, how many of us on this call know that that's nothing to celebrate?
Oh, yeah.
Why are we celebrating when we hadn't made any advancements or any achievements within that calendar year? Right? So if you hadn't had any accomplishments of your said goals, nor move from point A to point B, then maybe we spend that birthday of just giving thanks, giving praise, praying to be covered for the next calendar year, and to ask for more knowledge of the things that we don't know, more wisdom of the things that we do know, and how to apply the actions to produce those things that we can understand. Understanding how to scale and reap all the harvest that we have sown, and reap some of the harvest in some of the fields that we haven't sown yet. Now I know that I said a lot within that statement, because what I'm asking for is more knowledge, wisdom, and understanding. Right, and the topic of today was focus. Right, it was saying like, what would you focus more on, your strength or your weakness? And that kind of like was like, it wasn't a trick question, but it was something. But if we look at what the question was, what did we focus on in our business, strength or weakness? So if you're in your own business, then Joe stated really good that I'm going to focus on my strength, because that's what brings me my capital. Now, I'm not saying that to say that any of the things that were said that is wrong. It's no right or wrong. It's just more from better understanding, right? It's for better understanding. And this is why it's so good to hear other people's viewpoints, because you can learn from those that speak, before you or even after you. So one of the things I picked up was on that, okay, I went back to the word focus, and we spoke about this probably a few calls back, and focus was one of the things that I spoke on. But it's hard to focus on 3 or 4 different things at a time and be successful at it. Now, we're not saying, and again, we all kind of like said the same thing, because like, okay, well, you got to know your weakness. You got to know, yeah, if you know your strength, you kind of going to see the things that you're weak at. And I think Stan brought it out too. Like, hey, man, ask some people why, what's some of the things like, how do you see me? And I did this once. I think I was probably about like 42. I asked because I was looking for how people saw me, right? And how you saw me and what the I asked 10 people. I was like, you know what? That's what I'm gonna focus on, right? Because I want to be more better at that.
That's a
And
great exercise. I'll talk about it in a
again,
minute.
just be very careful. Again, focus. Focus is something that you put all of your attention to. So it's hard to put our attention to three or four different things, and again, and get the results that we want to get out of the one thing that really means the most to us, right? So, again, within this year, going back, celebrating one's birthday should be more than just popping bottles and just having a good time, right? And really, let me point this out to you, and I'm gonna close here, you guys. That um, the new year that they have that we see dropping the ball January the 1st. If your birthday is not in January, then that's not your new year. Your new year, as far as us, the people, is our birthday. The new year, January, drop the ball, is the like the big corporation, United States of America. It's the new year. It's the new year business. So we get trapped off. So that was another way with some of you guys that was on the call earlier. That's another way to where they market and stuff and to bring more dollars in. Very great. Nothing wrong with it. And there's nothing wrong for you to participate in that. But know that your new year starts on your birthday, the day that you and your mother, I brought you into this earth. And then two, on your birthday, you should definitely be reaching back to moms. If you are fortunate to still have your mother here, you should be reaching back to her and also taking part of that celebration and giving thanks to your mom. Because without her, you would not be here. So that set with me very, deeply, because my mom is past too, and this is the first year that I know that Bonton, this is his first birthday, not having her here, so it hits different, right? And so I thought it was very imperative that I send that message out there to him because I lost my mother too, and it's been like years and years of healing, but still, when you lose your mom, it's like it's never all the way closed, right? You may be able to move on, but it's not all the way closed. But again, your birthday, that's where you set your goals. That's where you measure everything. That's when you set New Year's resolutions, not on January 1st. You set it on your birthday, and you make do then. So if you change your attitude, then changing your attitude will help you change your altitude. So I hope I was able to say something for you guys that spark and touch and hit, home. Or just give you a different thing. Look like, wow, I never looked at it that way because you know what? Me too.
I'm not texting.
I
I be
never
really
looked at it
making
that way
notes every
either
time.
until now.
I'm a big note
So
taker.
I yield the mic, give it back over to you guys. Hope that you have a fantastic and wonderful week. Let's go get it. I'm looking forward to seeing you guys at the Mother's Day celebration that's hosted and given by Princess. I'm glad to be a part.
No, fuck, she knocked me out of my thing.
Your altitude. You did it. You did it. I like that. That was dope. Yeah. Also too, low key, he did have his birthday was on the 4th, so he been busy this weekend. But Tuesday we're gonna be at the studio in Beechwood. If anybody want to come and have a birthday drink with him.
All right, I'm turning it off now. There was something I was gonna mention. What was I gonna mention? He said something. Activity. Oh, the asking people. It's important to ask people about you. So when you are doing your SWOT analysis, and I talked about it before, I've talked about it a million times: strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats.
Again, to John for that wonderful message. I actually used to look at my birthday as being
Yeah, strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats, but identify the people around you who can also identify those things within you. Because when you do that, you have a second set of eyes or multiple sets of eyes on you as a person, and you can analyze. And some things you'll see, like, oh, those are old behaviors and they only know that version of me. Other things you'll be like, okay, no, this is true. I need to work on this. I need to analyze this. I need to put something in place for this. But either way, you don't get the results or you don't know unless you apply it. And so I highly recommend, if you're in business, have your staff do it, have your parents do it, have your siblings do it. I asked old coworkers, I asked old friends, like people that I don't even talk to anymore. I asked all my siblings, my parents, and so I got a combination of answers from different people when doing mine. And so for you, ask your mentees, ask your coaches, ask your business partners, ask your employees, but you're going to be able to identify those things and you're going to be able to put things in place to help you grow and scale. So I'm going to wrap up this call here and then go ahead and get the kids ready for school. And we got a field trip today. Be great on purpose, troops. Remember, this Breadwinnerz Call happens every Monday at 6 a.m. 6 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, 5 a.m. Central Standard Time. And as a part of being in the members only mentorship with True Creatives, with myself, where we're meeting on a weekly basis and doing strategizing, coaching, things of that nature, you also get access to the Breadwinnerz Circle. So that includes this this weekly morning call, as well as other resources. As you heard, we have a directory. Clearly you're going to be connected with other business owners and entrepreneurs and movers and shakers in multiple different states. So I'm excited to share my resources with you, information with you, mentors with you, coaching sessions with you. So let's grow. And if you don't think you could benefit from it, share it with someone that you know who can, someone who's looking to get started in a nonprofit world, grow their nonprofit business, someone who has that for-profit idea or business that they've started and they're like, I just don't know what's next. I don't understand what's the purpose of even having a strategy behind this. Let's get together. Let's create some results. I'm going to get them back my attention. I love you, troops. Be great on purpose, and thank you for tuning in.